The specter of war looms large over the Indian subcontinent. Tensions between India and Pakistan simmering for decades have reached a fever pitch. The recent attack in Pahalgam, a stark reminder of the ever-present threat of terrorism, has pushed both nations closer to the precipice. Military forces are on high alert, their fingers hovering over the triggers of unimaginable destruction. The world watches with bated breath, hoping that cooler heads will prevail. Modernization programs are in full swing on both sides as each seeks to gain a decisive edge over the other. India, with its burgeoning economy and vast industrial base, is rapidly expanding its military capabilities. Pakistan, though facing economic challenges, has doubled down on its military, relying on a combination of indigenous production and foreign support. The stakes have never been higher. A conflict between these two nuclear-armed neighbors would have catastrophic consequences not only for the region, but for the entire world. The potential for escalation is terrifying, with the possibility of a limited conventional war spiraling into a nuclear holocaust. As we stand on the brink, it is essential to examine the military capabilities of both sides to understand the forces at play and the potential consequences of their collision. The fate of millions hangs in the balance. The rivalry between India and Pakistan is deeply rooted in history, a tangled web of religion, colonialism, and nationalism. Born out of the bloody partition of British India in 1947, the two nations have been locked in a bitter struggle ever since. 3 major wars, countless skirmishes, and a constant atmosphere of mistrust have defined their relationship. The Kashmir dispute lies at the heart of the conflict, a territorial dispute that has fueled animosity and bloodshed for over 7 decades. Both countries claim the region in its entirety, and neither seems willing to back down. The line of control, a de facto border, is a constant reminder of their unresolved differences. Beyond Kashmir, other issues further complicate the relationship. Terrorism emanating from Pakistani soil has been a major source of tension, with India accusing its neighbor of harboring and supporting militant groups. Water disputes, particularly over the Indus River, add another layer of complexity. The historical baggage weighs heavily on the present, shaping perceptions and influencing decision-making. Any analysis of the current military situation must be viewed through the lens of this long and troubled past. India, a rising giant on the world stage, boasts the 4th most powerful military in the world. Its armed forces are vast and diverse, equipped with a mix of indigenously produced and imported weaponry. With a rapidly growing economy, India has been investing heavily in modernizing its military, seeking to enhance its capabilities across all domains: land, sea, and air. Pakistan, though smaller in size and economic might, possesses a formidable military force, ranked 12th globally. It has traditionally relied on a combination of robust conventional forces and a potent nuclear arsenal to deter aggression. Despite economic challenges, Pakistan continues to invest in its military, seeking to maintain a credible deterrent against its larger neighbor. While India enjoys a quantitative advantage in terms of manpower and equipment, Pakistan compensates with a doctrine focused on speed, maneuverability, and tactical innovation. Its armed forces are battle-hardened, with extensive experience in counterinsurgency operations and border skirmishes. Quantifying military strength is a complex endeavor, influenced by a myriad of factors beyond mere numbers. However, comparing raw data on active personnel, defense budgets, and equipment holdings provides a valuable starting point for understanding the balance of power. India, with a defense budget exceeding $75 billion, dwarfs many of its regional counterparts. This budget supports over 1.4 million active personnel, making it one of the largest standing armies in the world. Additionally, India has substantial reserve forces and paramilitary units, further bolstering its military capabilities. In terms of equipment, India maintains a numerical advantage in most categories. Its tank force numbers over 4,200, providing a formidable ground presence. India also possesses a larger inventory of armored vehicles and artillery pieces, enhancing its ground combat capabilities. In the air, India holds a clear advantage, with over 2,200 aircraft, including 513 fighter jets. The Indian Navy is also a significant force, with a fleet that includes an aircraft carrier, numerous destroyers, frigates, and submarines. India's missile systems, including ballistic and cruise missiles, provide a strategic deterrent, complemented by advanced missile defense systems. Furthermore, India's investment in cyber warfare capabilities ensures it can defend against and launch cyber attacks, adding a modern dimension to its military strength. The Indian space program also plays a role in defense, with satellites providing critical reconnaissance and communication capabilities. India's special forces are highly trained and equipped for a variety of missions, from counter-terrorism to unconventional warfare. Finally, India's focus on developing indigenous defense technology ensures a steady supply of advanced weaponry and reduces dependency on foreign suppliers. Section 5. Data discrepancies, seeking clarity amidst the fog of war. While numerical comparisons offer a broad overview, discrepancies in data from various sources highlight the challenges of accurately assessing military strength. The fog of war, compounded by deliberate misinformation and the inherent difficulty of collecting reliable data, often obscures the true picture. One notable discrepancy concerns the number of armored vehicles fielded by Pakistan. Jagran English reports a figure of 49,000, while Jagran Josh lists 17,516. This significant difference warrants further investigation, as it could reflect differing definitions of armored vehicles or outdated information. Similarly, conflicting data exists regarding Pakistan's self-propelled artillery strength. Jagran English claims 500 units, while Jagran Josh cites 662. Again, this discrepancy requires clarification, as it could indicate recent acquisitions or discrepancies in data collection methodologies. These inconsistencies underscore the importance of critical analysis and the need for multiple, reliable sources when assessing military capabilities. In the absence of complete transparency, a degree of uncertainty will always persist. Section 6. Beyond the headlines, recent military developments. Recent events have further escalated tensions and highlighted the evolving nature of the military balance in the region. India's decision to suspend the Indus Water Treaty, a vital agreement governing water sharing, has raised the specter of a water war, adding a dangerous new dimension to the conflict. Pakistan's ongoing military offensive in Balochistan, a restive province bordering Afghanistan and Iran, reflects its internal security challenges. The operation, aimed at quelling separatist militants, has drawn criticism for alleged human rights violations. China's growing economic and strategic interests in the region, particularly its investments in the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, or CPEC, have added another layer of complexity. Both countries continue to invest in modernizing their militaries, with a particular focus on emerging technologies. Drones, cyber warfare capabilities, and advanced missile systems are becoming increasingly prominent in their arsenals. The race to achieve technological superiority is on, with potentially destabilizing consequences. Section 7. The Shadow of Alliances, Geopolitical Chessboard. The India-Pakistan rivalry cannot be viewed in isolation. Both countries are embedded in a complex web of geopolitical alliances, with global powers vying for influence in the region. Pakistan's close ties with China, its all-weather friend, provide it with a powerful patron, both economically and militarily. Joint military exercises and arms sales further cement this relationship. India, on the other hand, has cultivated closer ties with the United States, Japan, and Australia, forming the Quadrilateral Security Dialogue, or Quad. This strategic partnership, driven by shared concerns over China's growing assertiveness, has bolstered India's strategic position. These alliances have the potential to exacerbate regional tensions. In the event of a conflict, the involvement of external actors could escalate the situation, transforming a bilateral dispute into a wider conflagration. Section 8. The Abyss Gazes Back, Implications of Conflict. The consequences of a full-blown military conflict between India and Pakistan are almost too horrific to contemplate. Both possess nuclear weapons, and the potential for their use, even in a limited war, is a terrifying reality. The human cost would be immeasurable, with millions potentially perishing in the ensuing inferno. Beyond the immediate devastation, the economic and environmental repercussions would be catastrophic. The global economy would be thrown into turmoil, and the environmental damage, particularly from nuclear fallout, would be long-lasting and devastating. The very fabric of international order would be shredded, ushering in an era of instability and fear. Even a limited conflict falling short of nuclear war would have dire consequences. Cross-border terrorism would likely surge, destabilizing the entire region. The flow of refugees would create a humanitarian crisis, and the economic impact would be felt globally. Section 9. The Uncertain Future, a World on Edge. The future remains uncertain, balanced on a knife edge between hope and despair. The possibility of dialogue and reconciliation, while remote, cannot be entirely discounted. International pressure, coupled with the realization that war would be mutually assured destruction, could yet avert disaster. However, the path to peace is fraught with obstacles. Decades of mistrust, entrenched positions, and the ever-present threat of terrorism make finding a lasting solution extremely difficult. The potential for miscalculation, fueled by nationalist fervor or the actions of rogue elements, remains a constant danger. As the world watches anxiously, one can only hope that wisdom and restraint will prevail. The alternative is too terrible to contemplate. The fate of millions, perhaps billions, hangs in the balance. The time for brinkmanship is over. The time for dialogue and diplomacy is now. The future of the subcontinent, and indeed the world, depends on it.